is going to shock you. The following are the facts about the most common retirement plan in America, 401ks. Let's get started. How do you feel about tax deferral? Deferring your taxes by funding your 401k sounds great, right? But does it really? You eventually have to pay those taxes. My question is, do you really want to pay taxes now while you're young enough? And also you have the tax write-offs like children and mortgage payments. Or do you want to pay taxes later when you're 65, 70, 75 years old, you're retired, and you've lost all those write-offs? I have another question. Do you have a memory of tax rates decreasing long-term in the U.S. in your lifetime? I don't. So when the taxman requests you to pay your tax liability, you'll be a senior, and he's going to determine your tax amount due based on the date that your taxes are due. So unless you have a way of knowing the tax rate when you retire, I'd be worried. Unfortunately, if you're successful in growing your nest egg, you're only going to pay higher taxes on a bigger number. So is it really tax deferral or a way to get more out of you when you retire? Now let's talk about the words free money. They tell you that you're going to receive free money in the form of a 401k employer match. And I'm sure you're aware that your employer is receiving compensation for giving you that match. And if not, check out the Center for Retirement Research at Boston College. And what you're going to learn are the facts. Your employer is benefiting by giving you a match. And on average, they're also paying you less in salary if they give you that match. Then check out the rules about vesting. When you qualify, what happens if you leave your job, and what determines whether or not you receive the match. I suggest that you research matches at your company and then decide if it's really a great deal for you. I doubt it, since nothing in life is free. What you should do is open a private equity banking plan for yourself. That way you don't have to worry about being vested, and it's your money to go with you when you do. According to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, the average time a person stays on the job is only 4.6 years. So in most cases, you weren't getting that match to start with. It's just another shiny object to make it look good. But when you look deeper into the facts, it's really not. Let's talk about the fees that devour your hard-earned money. In spite of the rules passed a few years ago requiring better 401k fee disclosure, surveys show that most participants still have no clue how much they're actually paying. 401k plans come with various fees that aren't always evident to the employee, but can greatly impact an account's returns over the long term. Ranging from 0.5% to 2%, 401k plan fees can vary greatly depending on the size of your employer and the plan, the number of participants, and the plan provider. This information was found in Investopedia.com. According to what I read in several financial business publications, if these fees sound like a small charge to you, then here's a wake-up call. Fees of only 1% per year can slash the value of your savings by 28% over the next 35 years. There goes nearly 1/3 of your hard-earned dollars. I can assure you somebody's getting rich on this, but it's not you. Funding a 401k is like putting your money in prison. The government says, give me all of your savings in return for tax deferral, and you will receive an employer match. will keep your money under lock and key for you until you turn 59 and a half years old. But if you need it for emergencies or life events, you'll have to beg for permission to use your own money. And to make sure you don't want to try, we're going to place restrictions and penalties on your 401k account for accessing your own money. Sounds really great, right? There are myths called market returns. You're told that over the long term, you can do well in the stock market. But over the last 3 decades, the average equity mutual fund investor earned only 3.66% per year, beating inflation by only 1% per year, according to the Dalbar reports. Yet Wall Street has brainwashed us into believing that we have to risk our money in order to get any kind of decent returns. And so we continue to blindly fund our 401ks like lemmings, following each other off a cliff. You can reach financial goals and dreams without taking any unnecessary risks. After decades of being test dummies in the great 401k experiment, most pre-retirees still don't have enough money saved. Even the father of 401ks, Ted Benna, he called it an out-of-control monster that should be blown up. There was another eye-opening statement made in an interview conducted with Frontline on October 25th, 2012 by Teresa Garaducci, the director of the Schwartz Center of Economic Policy Analysis at the New School for Social Research. In her statement, she said that the 401k system has been a failed experiment for middle-class Americans because it was never designed with them in mind. It's not the fault of the people that they don't have enough savings in their individual retirement accounts or 401ks, she said. It's the fault of the system, and the whole system needs to be reformed. What's ironic is, as time progressed and regular workers had less bargaining power and less presence in the modern firm, their plans that were really built to supplement the retirement accounts for the higher paid workers became the only vehicle in which the lower paid workers could save for retirement. So the structure was always set up against lower paid and middle class workers from the very beginning, because it was never intended to be the primary savings vehicle for most Americans. The 401k manager or mutual fund is one of the only products that Americans buy that they don't know the price of. It's also one of the only products that Americans buy that they don't even know its quality or how to judge its quality. It's one of the only products that Americans buy that they don't know its danger. And it's because the mutual fund industry has been able to protect themselves against regulation that would expose the danger, fees, and price of their product. How much more evidence do we need that 401ks are not the solution that they're touted to be? The more accurate name for a 401k is a hope and pray plan. So are there any good alternatives to 401ks? The answer is yes. But of course, you won't hear about it from Wall Street. Here are a few reasons that private equity banking is a better alternative to conventional retirement plans. Guaranteed. Predictable growth. A tax-free retirement income with no luck, skill, or guesswork required. Plus, no volatility. Your plan doesn't go back when the market tumbles. Your principal and growth are locked in, and it's not subject to any market risk. You are in control. You have control of your money without government penalties or restrictions on how much income you can take and when you can take it. Tax advantages. You can access your principal and growth with no taxes due. Liquidity. Your cash value can easily and immediately be tapped for any purpose at all, and your plan can continue to grow as though you never touched a dime of it. Fees don't compound against you. Studies show that the fees in the traditional retirement plan can consume as much as 1/3 to 1/2 of your savings over time. With a private equity bank plan, all your fees are already deducted from the bottom line number. You can easily find out what your bottom line number and the results would be before you decide whether to add a private equity bank method to your financial plan. Just request a free analysis if you haven't already. Take the first step to a lifetime of financial security right now while you're thinking about it. Peace of mind, perhaps the best reason of all. You'll know the minimal guaranteed value of your plan on the day that you decide to tap into it, and every day from that point along the way. To learn more, reach out to the person that asked you to watch this video.